Hello, unlimited friends. It's Zara back again with another question about the law of attraction and its practical application to our lives. The question today was contributed by Wendy, and she says, if we have contrast in all things and can choose what we love out of that contrast, why must we love all people? This is one hang up I have had over the years. Even though I have self-love, I still find myself going to dislike with my past relationships and my ex. My goodness, do I ever love this question. Wendy, thank you for posting this question on Facebook. And I am going to take some time to respond to it fully. But first, let me do a short introduction for everyone who is new here. Hi, I'm Zara Mahoon. I write the blog zmahoon.com. This is my virtual hot seat where I answer questions about the law of attraction submitted through email via my website zmahoon.com or in the comments below. If you have a question about law of attraction, I would love to hear from you. And if you want to work with me, please check out my online offers, books, and programs on my website. All right, let's get started. All right. So Wendy, here's the first thing. I'm going to take this apart one little piece at a time. And the first thing you've said is, if we have contrast in all things and can choose what we love out of that contrast, why must we love all people? Now, the why must we love all people, that's the second part of the question. Let's talk about contrast. What is contrast? Contrast is something happening or you observing something, and from that observation, you decide what you prefer, what your personal preference is. That's all. That's the role of contrast. Now, once you have decided what your personal preference is, then step 2 is for you to close the gap between where you are and what you prefer so that you can manifest what you prefer. That is the role of contrast. Contrast helps us to understand what we want, and it tells us that we are not there yet because there's a gap. So we have to do some work in order to get to a place where we can manifest the opposite of the contrast, meaning manifesting what we actually want. Now let's get to the second part of your question. Why must we love all people? So here's the thing. When you observe someone and you observe about them things that you don't like, then in that moment when you decided I don't like how he talks to me, I don't like how she behaves towards me, I don't like what she did, in that moment you are giving birth to a desire for that person to behave differently towards you. So now we get to step 2, which is, how do I close the gap so that I get the essence of what I desire or the changed behavior? You're closing that gap means that you have to look at that person differently. When you look at that person through the eyes of love, the way Source looks at them, now only does that person have the capacity to behave towards you in a manner that is going to satisfy your desire. So this is why we actually want to love all people. We also especially want to love those people who cause us grief, because we don't want more grief. We want to be in harmony with them. We want them to be nice to us. We want to be nice to them. And all of that is only possible from a place of love. So when we start living life right at the top of the emotional scale where unconditional love is, we stop judging other people's behavior. we stop categorizing it as right or wrong. Not because it's no longer right or wrong, but because it does not affect us. When you let someone's behavior affect you, that brings you down the emotional scale. And when you come down the emotional scale, everything in your life is affected. And we don't want that. We all want good things for ourselves. We all want an enjoyable life. We all want good things to come to us in our life. So if I know that someone's behavior is going to bring me down the emotional scale, I don't want that, because coming down the emotional scale is going to mean that it's going to affect my health in the future. It's going to affect the amount of money that's coming into my life in the future. It's going to affect how other relationships affect me or respond to me, because everything responds to my vibration. So it's not that I am forgiving that person and letting them off the hook because I don't care what they did. I still care what they did, but I have to find a way to let it go and not let it affect me, because when it affects me, it affects my ability to manifest the things that I want. So I have to soothe myself, which is the 4-step process that I teach in the book Thrive. It's the 4-step process of soothing. So first, I know where I am. Where do I want to go? Well, I want to not feel angst. That's where I want to go. Step 3 is soothing. What can I say to myself that soothes me? Well, I can't control this person, so I'm not going to worry about their behavior. If they are behaving badly, that's on them. I'm not going to let it affect me. I know better now. I know that when I go down the emotional scale, everything in my life is affected. So now what I'm doing is I am experiencing blame. I'm blaming them for the way they behave, and that's totally okay. So you keep going up the emotional scale. Next, you want to find some anger and revenge. Feels delicious. I'm gonna show them. I'm going to show him. He is going to get his just deserves, because there's a thing called karma, and it's going to come and bite him in the butt. I don't have to worry about this. I'm going to let the universe get revenge on my behalf. And then I go up further to a place of worry and frustration. Frustration that I don't control him. It's okay that I don't control him. I know I don't control him, and really, I don't want to control him. It's not about him at all, because I want to have a good life despite him. And I know better now that my vibration is what brings good things to me, and I want good things to come to me. In fact, I want my life to become so brilliantly beautiful and enjoyable that what he does doesn't impact me at all, because I have so many good things going on. And from there, now you've soothed the worry and the frustration, go up to a place of hope. I know I can do that. I know I can appreciate my way up the emotional scale. I know that I am the creator of my reality. I know that all things are possible for me. I know that the future can be better than the past, and I know what to do. All I have to do is to appreciate more. All I have to do is love more. And I don't have to love him, but what I can do is stop pushing against him. I don't have to love him. Nobody is asking me to love him. But what I am asking, what the law of attraction is asking me to do, is to stop pushing against him by finding things wrong about him, by calling him wrong and me right, by putting him in this box that is labeled inappropriate. I am not going to judge him. I'm just going to let that go, because there are plenty of other people for me to love. So you see, Wendy, that's what this is all about. It's not about specifically loving him. It is about being in love with other things so that your predominant vibration is that of love. But you cannot have a predominant vibration of love if there's something tugging you down and bringing you down the emotional scale. So, what we want to do is find a way to stop pushing against that person. I've done things like call him stupid. He's just stupid. I don't care. Look at what I have created for myself. I'm happy. I'm in another relationship. My children are doing so well. I am doing so well. Who cares what he thinks? And now I'm not pushing against him. And what he says bothers me? Yes, absolutely it bothers me. It takes me right down the emotional scale, but I don't stay there because I do the soothing that I just shared with you and I go right back up the emotional scale. Of course, you're human. We are not asking you to love people that you can't love. We are just asking you to stop pushing against them. Because when you push against someone, you're the one who goes down the emotional scale. They remain unaffected. They are not affected by your thoughts because you cannot create anything for them by thinking about it. Only they can create for themselves. You are creating for yourself, and your angst on their behalf brings you down the emotional scale, destroys your health, your other relationships, and the abundance that is coming into your life, shakes your confidence and keeps you here. Don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it. So, Wendy, I hope that this answers your question fully. And if you have a follow-up question, I would love to hear it. I am always open to discussions, and I know that you are a member of the Unlimited 365 group, which means that you can bring questions like this to our weekly Sunday Q&A, right? Get in the hot seat and let me coach you live, because then I can actually help you to shift the way you think about your ex. All right, that's it for now. And those of you who are new here, thank you for joining me for this discussion. I hope that it helped you. Please remember to click on the notification bell and come back so that I can share more about the practical aspects of using law of attraction in our lives with you. And I would love to get to know you better. So if you like, you can check the link in the description below for my free private Facebook group, and join me in that group where we can have a discussion. Bye for now.